that little guy is, but probably not good for my plants. Who knows? I'll have to look it up. Hey everyone, so welcome to week 12 in the garden. As you'll see, there's a lot going on, and the clip that I showed you to begin with is from this morning. And one of my favorite things during quarantine has been to sleep in a little bit and then come out here and work in the garden, or just sit like I did this morning if I don't have a lot of time or there's just not a lot to do. So it's been a really peaceful thing. Right now I am getting ready for hurricane, tropical storm Isaias. I'm not even sure how to say it. I don't know. I guess they're running out of names, but someone will let me know why. It's an important name, I'm sure. But yeah, so I just put away a bunch of stuff. I'll probably bring in all the potted plants just into the porch so they don't get flung all over our yard, depending on how bad this thing is. And that's it. I don't think there's a lot else I can do. So let me show you what else has been going on over the last couple weeks. It's really hot. I'm sweating. It's not even hot. It's like just humid and gross, and there's a storm coming in. So welcome to sweatiness. Okay, so one of the things that's been really exciting, I know last time I was talking about not having a lot of harvest, but I'm starting to get to the point where I can harvest 1 or 2, maybe sometimes 3 okra in a day. And Keith was claiming that he didn't like it, and then I made them the other day and I was like, well, what didn't you like about it? And he took a bite and couldn't think of anything that he didn't like about it. So maybe he's on the okra train, I don't know. So, but the black beans, so these are black beans, these are not ripe yet. And that's a mosquito on my wrist. Forgot to put on the bug spray. That's great. Apparently these here, the more pale they get, the closer they are. I haven't cracked one open, but I'm keeping an eye on them. I think when they turn white, I guess they basically dry on the plant and then you pick them. So there's a lot of those. Not a ton of pinto beans. That might be a fail, which kind of sucks because it's taking up a lot of space, but I will have black beans. Let's see. Also no peas or beans, green beans, pole beans. So I don't know, maybe it's too hot. Maybe something's up with the soil. I'm just gonna leave them, and hopefully when the weather starts to cool off, they will grow. But they look impressive and they provide some nice beauty to look at. So that's good. These are the yellow squash. I think I showed you 2 weeks ago were really tiny, and now they're getting huge. I started spraying them every week with neem oil for the powdery mildew. It seems to be helping, as well as trimming them. It looks like there's some female flowers, fruits developing, but none of them have blossomed yet. There's one. There's plenty of male flowers, so I know they'll have friends. And we're also starting to get more pollinators, so that's really cool. And I think last time I told you about the zucchini, the sad zucchini. So the original zucchini that actually had yielded 1 fruit and kept producing like blossom and rotty fruit was just, I pulled it up and it wasn't attached to anything, so it was done. So, but this one is the one that hasn't done anything really, and it's still going, and it seems to be pretty healthy. It's fairly solid, I think. Not necessarily the dark green color that I guess is good, but it is growing a couple flowers. I'm just gonna let go. I think sometime soon I'm gonna plant a couple. I just bought some seeds. I'm gonna plant a couple seeds in here just so I can have some zucchini at some point. And then I don't know, maybe I should build another mound somewhere else. Probably won't get too crowded. Although I think by the time this gets big, this stuff in here will be done and stuff can start growing out. I have big plans for the fall garden, and maybe I'll go over those next week. But my new favorite thing in the whole world are zinnias. Look how pretty it is. I had no idea zinnias were so cool. First of all, they look really cool when they're blooming. because these little petals are, I'll show you one that's just starting to bloom. They come in all these beautiful colors. This is all from one seed pack. They have these little like miniature flowers on the inside. And they're just really pretty. And I've been noticing more butterflies around, so I don't know if they're coming for this or what, but I'm happy to see them. There's a bunch over there that will bloom. That is a Lakota squash. It's kind of kicking along. Actually, I accidentally broke some of it. I kicked it. So this is just my little random garden bed that has a volunteer tomato and some bee balm and some zinnias and some leeks and some Lakota squash. Sorry, I don't know what I said before, but it's Lakota squash. And then I planted a little fennel patch here last week, and I think I didn't water it enough. There's one little thing coming up there, so maybe that's a fennel seedling. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with all this rain. I was gonna plant some stuff this past weekend, but I think I'm gonna wait until after tomorrow. This is obviously just grass and clovers. So hopefully we'll get some fennel in here. If not, I'll plant more seeds because I have plenty. And I would love to have some fennel. I don't know, there's something weird going on there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And oh, I don't think I've talked about the hay in a while. So I'm using the hay as mulch. It's lightweight, so the seeds can poke through it, unlike wood chips, and it dissolves into the soil. And it's much more organic than a wood chip mulch that you would buy at like Home Depot, because that stuff is all dyed. So this is just gonna, it's more natural. So it's just gonna compost down into the soil at the end of the season. I pulled up those cabbages. Turns out those were really riddled, completely riddled with cabbage worms. And if I had looked up cabbage worms earlier, I would have caught it and been much better off. Because apparently you can kill them really easily with neem oil. Who knew? And I found a bunch of them when I was taking it apart. But I did take off enough of it and ended up with a couple of little itty bitty cabbages that I mixed with some shredded carrot. I made into some sauerkraut with carrots. And it is very sour and delicious. I had some of it last night. The leeks, I don't know. I think they may need some fertilizer or something. And there's also some that are just too close together. Like these guys, I need to thin out. Maybe I'll just, no, I can't do that now. I need to like focus on it. This one could come out, I think. I don't know. I could probably do something with those. If you have ideas for what to do with baby leeks, send them along. Okay. Dahlias. I could probably stand to prune that. Matilda. Jalapenos. I've gotten a few jalapenos on here. They weren't very spicy, so I'm gonna let them get bigger. And there's some more that are fruiting in there. But this is about the size when I was picking them. You can see against my hand. I'm gonna let them keep going, see if they get spicier, because they were pretty mild. Let's see, let's go over to the raised bed. So I'll insert a picture here of the bell pepper that we accidentally, I was like showing it to Keith, trying to check his color, and it just like popped off. So that one's picked. Let's see if I can do this now. So it's really pretty. It's turning like a reddish, purplish, I don't know what color it'll end up being, red. There's another one down there that's turning. And then there's a bunch of like, there's gonna be a crap load, I think really pretty soon. These are all, they're growing fast too, like much faster than the other ones did. These ones have been on the vine for, I feel like 2 months. And it's just taken them forever to ripen. Lots of the bush beans are doing really well. I don't know why the pole beans aren't. I guess they're different, or maybe I did something wrong, and they're in a different place, in different soil. So this is a mix of Viragrow, I don't know if I'm saying that, Viragrow in-ground soil, gardening soil, and cow manure. And then over there is more natural soil. There's still some manure and compost and stuff, but it's definitely not as rich as this stuff, so that might be why. But there's lots, and we've been eating them. It's been very exciting, just like a few a day. A lot of times I just eat them fresh. The cucumbers, the one plant was doing great. The tomatoes, I picked a couple of them and they're ripening inside. And then this one's fine. There's a little baby one. I don't know what this one's plant is. It's just like a little tiny mini me tomato, but it's finally ripening. It hasn't set any more fruit though, so I don't know. I haven't talked a lot about the tomatoes. I feel like tomatoes are really complicated and I'm just sort of winging it. I did do some pretty aggressive pruning, but then the tomatoes stopped growing. So I'm trying out just like backing off on the pruning. That might be a mistake. I don't know. Like I let this sucker grow, just to try and get some more fruit to set, because really nothing else is set after those original ones. I don't know if the cucumbers are hogging too much soil, but then these cherry tomatoes down here are doing great. So that's probably not it. I think it might be the heat, because we did have a really bad heat wave. The cucumbers are doing really good. Some of them are bitter though. I tried like cutting them and rubbing them together, and that seemed to help with the bitterness. So we've got a good number growing. I just picked one this morning. I've got this one down here looking pretty fine. I picked the one that was over there. And then I did a lot of pruning yesterday. So these were really out of control, and they're still kind of out of control, and I'll probably prune some more. Because it's just like the amount of cucumbers they're gonna set, I don't think we'll eat that many pickles in a year. Plus we have these over here that will probably start setting fruit really soon too. So we're gonna have a lot. The other thing I did is I put in some, can't remember the word for it. Insert the word here. So I put that in yesterday. It was a royal pain in the butt. I was kicking myself for not having done it sooner. Because I didn't have to buy it. It was like in our garage when we moved in. I just had to put it in, and it took me forever. But you can see these cucumbers, there's just like a million flowers growing on them. So I think we will have a really good crop of these pickling cucumbers from these plants. Let's see what else. Here's a really pretty orange zinnia. I can't get over the colors on these. I don't know if it's going to show up, but they're such brilliantly like neon colors that I wouldn't expect to see in plants, especially like non-tropical plants. I don't know. So I have some tomatoes down there. I think they're gonna get blocked out from this gigantic butternut squash. I don't even know. It's huge. But I also have been finding, actually I don't think that's it. I've been finding squash bugs. But I haven't found any squash bug eggs. So I hope we're okay. I don't know. I've been checking the leaves. I sprayed them with neem oil, so if there's any little nymphs on here, they would have gotten taken out. Apparently neem oil doesn't kill the full-grown ones, but I still sprayed them. I can't bring myself to kill them. It's horrible. Why I could never raise meat. I just can't even bring myself to kill a bug. So this one is, jeez, look at this. It's crazy. It's just grown. This is planted down there, and it has grown up through the fence here, up there, around, up here. I'm gonna have to prune it at some point, because I don't even, let's see if I can do this while I'm holding the phone and talking to you guys. I might have to string it up with some twine. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and do that. Anyways, I'm thinking that these might not be getting enough sun to really do anything, and the leaves are curled, and I just don't know. Soaker hose, that's what they're called. Soaker hoses. Put those in, so hopefully they'll get better watering now, because it's hard to get back here. I also have another one, so I'm going to extend it from here over there. So the whole thing will have soaker hose. I didn't realize how long it is. It should be enough to do the whole garden. That will be really nice, because it's getting to the size where I just can't do an accurate job, I think, of watering it appropriately. I just cut some grass from our garden and used it for mulch. So watermelons, I think maybe I haven't been giving them enough water, because I feel like they should be bigger than this. So the soaker hose will help with that too. Watermelons, sweet dumpling squash have not done much of anything. I don't know how big they're supposed to get, but they're not doing much. This is a cucumber in here that I pruned. So you can see it's just dead. because I pruned it and I couldn't get it out, so I think I'm just gonna let it die and fall to the ground. Sad. You can see I think the storm is starting to come in. We're getting the front end of it now. So this is butternut squash. Some of it, I don't know, maybe this is the squash bugs. Maybe it's got a little disease. I hope not, because it's a really epic plant. There's a couple of them. This one, I think it's just they're lower and they've done their thing and now they're dead, because this one is growing out there. I think once I get this stuff cleared out, I'm just gonna let it grow along the ground on the other side. So back here was a wealth of poison ivy and grapevines and a whole load of crap that I sprayed 2 weeks ago. Apparently you just have to let it sit for several weeks and then it like gets into the roots and dies, and then you can just rip it up really easily. So I don't know. So maybe I shouldn't let this grow along the ground because it's still going to have the spray and the soil. If you have any tips on how to regenerate soil after spraying that kind of stuff, please let me know. I'm a little worried I can't plant anything there for a couple years, but we'll see. This is going to be spaghetti squash. It's doing nice. It's growing up. I bought these things, little pre-made trellises at Home Depot because I was really sick of building them, and they're really flimsy because they were cheap. They're flimsy and they're easy, so we'll see how they do. I just don't know. So spaghetti squash, this is more ricotta squash, watermelons, and the coup de grace, I don't know if that's the right word, but the pumpkin patch is getting epic. Look at that. I had to clear out space because it is growing out there. I would like to be able to plant other stuff back there. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think the pumpkins are just going to take over the whole thing. And they're growing out here. So there's two different kinds. There's jack-o'-lantern pumpkins and then there's big moon pumpkins. So neither of which I think are all that good to eat. So they'll be decorating. I might try to cook one of the giant ones. So this is what the zinnia looks like before it blooms. All these little things are going to be flower petals. It's getting really dark, you guys. Okay, so quick last bit. Pimento peppers, they are turning red. I think they'll be ready to go very soon. Matilda's coming and she's like, Mom, it's time to go inside. It's gonna pour. Okra, another zinnia, these celosia, lots of good stuff. So we'll talk about all this next time in the front garden because not much has changed there. And that's it. Wish us luck with this storm. I mean, it might be past by the time I get this edited and put up. And if it has, maybe I'll add like an after video. We'll see if it's as bad as it seems like it's going to be. But it's not even supposed to really hit until tomorrow, and the sky's already getting dark, and I can feel the breeze coming in. And I gotta go because I've got some potted plants I have to get inside, or they're gonna just fly through the air. Okay. Bye, everyone. Be well, and I hope you can find some peace during this crazy, crazy time. There's some raindrops. Bye.